I'm Megan Van Petten, founder of the Esports Trade Association and host of the Esports Connected podcast. I am inspired to share key tidbits from several interviews conducted with industry influencers over the 3-day span of our EsportsNext conference. To be able to celebrate and learn from those who are shaping our community is such an honor. Press play and let the waterfall of knowledge wash over you as it did for me. Enjoy.
Welcome back, Megan. So glad you're here.
Oh my gosh. What about my co-host over here? I'm Megan Van Petten with the Esports Connected podcast. I'm still your host, I swear. But today, I've been sharing the show with Bubba. And the reason why we invited Bubba on this panel is most important because he's actually the founding creator of the Level Up Fund. And he's very humble. But I want to talk about how that got created. It was over a cup of coffee on a Zoom in a very early morning. And tell us the story, Bubba.
So my big thought was there's nonprofits out there. I running one, Danny Martin running another in the esports space. There's probably only like nonprofits in the gaming esports space, maybe 4 or 5 of us at the time, maybe a year or two ago. And there's been a lot more we've helped develop. But the idea of supporting nonprofits from gamers was a really big deal, especially the trade association, where there's organizations that have funds that want to give back and do corporate philanthropy.
That's right.
But then the other idea where we go to kind of these conferences, a lot of the conferences I've been to in sports and entertainment, there's always a local charity that you need to give back to when you go to conferences. So all that kind of shaped into the Level Up Fund, where people could donate online through their ESTA membership or any other things, to where the Level Up Fund, which I think you created the name actually, and it turned into a way for people to give back. And I think we've done some amazing stuff this week, especially, so we have April here as well.
So when I met April here in Chicago and I heard about what she's done, I brought the story back to the board and the committee and was overjoyed. So April, we are here today to hear about your mission, and you have an announcement to make.
Thank you so much. Yes, I so appreciate all that you've done, both of you, for conception and execution and making things real. That's the gist of innovation and creativity, and that's the space we're in today. And what we're working on here is in partnership with Scott Greenberg and Chris Lai and Cameron. We're building a brilliant, beautiful new stadium, $30 million esports stadium, 4 blocks from our college campus at Illinois Tech. And we are at Illinois Tech doing the community service component. So we launched the Bronzeville Esports League last month, and we are working tirelessly to connect CPS schools, colleges, businesses, using Surge as our centerpiece. That's where all of the really cool stuff's going to happen. But we'll be training kids in the neighborhood, all about the esports ecosystem, helping them identify future careers, helping them play, helping them support their siblings. There's so many routes, so many paths to profitability with esports that the kids in our neighborhoods just don't know about. So the fact that we get to even just not necessarily build brand new labs, but even give that information and give them access to the labs that are at IIT and that will be at Surge. It's going to be huge.
It's been a tough climb. I often talk about the old Irish proverb from my grandfather of throwing the hat over the fence. But, think about April for a moment. Here she is at IIT, and she's got these professors coming in. And they all have a pot of grant money, right? Or a pot of gold. Yeah. And they're saying, I can save lives. I can cure cancer. I can make the next. Tell us a little bit about, the hat you threw over and the fence you've climbed, about, and you're like, I just want kids to play. And it's so simple. So talk a little bit about that journey for you.
No, absolutely. In the university setting, and as collegiate esports explodes, we had a whole panel on it. The red tape and all of the hoops that you have to jump through for funding. You're going after funding, but you're going after funding against established PhDs who have NSF grants, who are doing like cutting edge research that saves lives, that creates new batteries that power they're like the world problems. They're literally solving those world problems.
Right.
So when I come in and say, I don't have a world problem necessarily, but esports is important. And community behind esports is important. And this is how you can connect to people who really care about diversity and you really care about more women in STEM. This is one wonderful path to connect. And I need a bit of help. I need resources for new labs. I need resources to pay work study students. I need resources to host events, and making the case for those resources against what they also have to choose. It's sometimes challenging, but we do it, and we did it.
and for me, I've been just so impressed because you've really poured into the mission, and your voice has been heard, and there's a seat at the table. Really, it's just a story about just, tenacity and stick-to-itiveness, because we need to spread these resources, among everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things it is, it's often not the big check, though. We're grateful for the big checks. But it's often just that validation that says, yes, esports is important. Yes, this is something that we acknowledge. This is something that will build community. This is something that will help our students have a better college experience. This is something that will give our graduates a pastime that earns money on the side,
right?
Or give them an outlet for their creativeness. So there's just so much to esports that people often don't think about. The leadership skills, the communication skills, the fantastic friends that people make so they don't feel alone. That mental health component to esports is so important.
How long have you been at IIT?
Since 2006, actually. Wow. I started.
A few years.
Yeah,
that's a really big hat. That's a very tall hat.
That's 2006. I've only been in education for 7 years. So you know a lot of stuff.
She knows everything.
You know a lot of stuff. You've educated a lot of folks.
Absolutely.
What are all the different courses you've been teaching?
Yeah, absolutely. So at IIT, my first in 2006, I actually came to do we're an engineering school. Computer science, we're very tech heavy. 90% of our kids are gamers, identify as gamers. And
wow.
my first job that I wrote was a summer camp for transportation engineering. So we took them to see the O'Hare, the new tower when they built that. I love hands-on experiences. So I actually put the hard hats on the kids and take them into the sites to see if this is something they want to do with their lives. So writing summer programs.
I've been over at IIT. Yeah. It's an incredible facility. You have a great team, great support. I was there for one of our events. It was very well attended. The students are so amazing.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's my favorite part. The students are my favorite part, and giving them experiential learning and real things to do, that's my favorite thing to do.
So with the funding, if these other PhD folks trying to cure cancer, if you had funds, what would you do with those funds? What could you do with more funds to support your community, your students?
Oh, that's awesome. That's a fantastic question. So one of the reasons that there are no esports dominant schools on the south side right near us is because there's just so much to get into alignment. So I would start right there by just doing just what you guys are doing, actually. Bringing everybody to the table, all the players to the table, mapping out really specifically how do we build this in a way that fits the timing and the needs of the gamers in our community.
That's right.
And then I would fund Chicago public school teachers in a guild-like structure to be our coaches for each. So if we've done surveys, we determined that, say, Apex Legend or Rocket League or Smash is the game. Then we would identify the science teacher or the gym teacher who we could pay to say, organize this group of kids to compete. So it would be a spoken hub sort of structure that supports Chicago Public Schools, the students and the teachers, and keeps everyone connected and learning. And they would come to IIT to learn more about the technology? How do you set up a LAN? How do you do networking? How do you do all of that
Because
stuff?
a lot of these Chicago school teachers are literally funding it themselves.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable,
Not just
the
pencils.
resources. Exactly. It's not
Right.
just pencils. You totally get it, Bubba.
Well, I mean, from an educator sense, if we look at just America in all, I mean, golly, there's not a lot of funding for education.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the inner city and the disenfranchisement of students, it's not the same as in the suburbs. There's not that property tax that's there. So I think supporting schools that are disenfranchised in low-income areas with access, obviously what we do at the foundation, but what you're doing is who we want to support, is why the level of fund is here with the ESTA to support what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And
Wait, Megan, do you have something?
oh my gosh. We are so excited to announce this. Thank you, Bubba.
Thank you.
April, all the work that you do. This is just the beginning.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you.
so grateful. It really is. And every first step is so important. So many projects don't ever even get to the first step. So that we made it here is huge.
Right.
We will keep going, and I'll keep you up to date on everything we do.
Well, you're not going anywhere.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
We'll close this out.
Well, we will be right back because our chairman, John Davidson, would like to talk to Bubba and would like to talk to April. So stay tuned.